Look, there's a picture. Paul fell right through the chair.
Yes.
All I did was sit down.
Well,
That's all I did was sit down. And next thing I know, I'm on my side.
Whatever.
Because you knocked me over and started getting all like sexually aggressive.
I saw the sexual aggression from you, Paul.
No.
Yes.
No.
I have pictures.
He was humping the chair.
No. If you watch the video, I was clearly kicking you.
Is that what you were doing?
No. Yes. There was one kick.
All right, well, welcome back to another edition of Dudes Like Us. That's a great way to open the show right there.
It was.
Well, an entire bottle of Heaven's Hill.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
And first of all, they're difficult to get. So thank you for allowing me to open that up. That was nice. I didn't think he was going to do it. I thought we were going to get stuck drinking
Kings Creek.
One of my
whatever the fuck he's
crappy
got in
bourbons.
his- Yeah.
I usually offer the crappiest bourbons for you.
You do.
End result would have been the same.
Hold on, Sean's coming over. I need to clean out the bathtub and get my bathtub rock gut going.
Oh, whatever. I'm Paul.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Sean, and we got a guest today.
Brian Brickman.
Oh, we're going with last names now.
Brian.
Great.
Well, whatever.
Our first edit.
Yeah, well,
Just kidding.
Brian
Hey, we're glad to have
Brickman
you.
is he's part of Frisco, Texas, and deep in the heart of Frisco is the podcast that he and a colleague host.
Correct.
And you want to talk a little bit about that?
Not really.
I'll tell you.
It's interesting, I guess. We've mostly gone to guests.
I will
local
talk
guests.
a little bit about it because unbeknownst to you,
Oh, do you listen?
I listened to
Yeah,
a couple of them, and
Do you have call-ins? Does he call in and harass you guys?
No,
no,
we don't have any
they
comments.
have
We
on
don't
one
have
of their
to do that.
things where they sit down and they have a Russian roulette pizza where
Oh, yeah, we did that.
one of the pizzas is spiked with a ghost pepper powder.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Well,
fun.
There's a lot pizza does that. They call it a Reaper Roulette.
Well, unbeknownst
Reaper
to
roulette, all right?
you guys tonight,
No.
I have spiked one of these glasses
With ecstasy.
with some THC.
With LSD.
Yeah, that
What?
would've been
With
more
what
fun.
would you say?
with several drops of THC, enough to drop a rhino.
You're such a liar.
Nice.
No,
No,
but it is funny.
He
And
probably did it to his own, and he's getting blood work done tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, I'm going to the doctor.
When's the last time you went?
Dudes like us. See, I used to go to the doctor frequently until I found out, hey, you're only supposed to get the finger wave once a year, once every other year.
Yeah, that's not a weekly thing.
Yeah, right.
But
Well,
you just couldn't help it.
Yeah, he's like,
as I
need it
discussed in
again.
a prior podcast,
like,
my
man,
wife had convinced me that I need to get it done twice a year.
Why?
So I'm going to the doctor twice a year for the finger plunge.
And
Why?
and she giggling the whole time.
She
Well,
is.
she's
She's
I
texting her
don't
friends.
know.
He's doing it again.
Yeah.
Your doctor agreed to this? Like,
Well, that's probably the thing. He was probably like, "What the fuck, man? This guy likes my finger in his bum. I don't get it, you know." And this guy
Yeah,
was
the
big
doctor's
too.
texting your wife, hey, I just did it. And she's like, the meat
Awful.
hands guy you've been talking about this whole time?
Sausage fingers.
That's who you've been talking about?
Oh, was ringing the freaking bell in that bum.
He's like 4.5 feet tall and
Whatever.
got pencil fingers.
Yes.
Come
You're
on.
such a... man.
Whatever. So, anyways, I got to go to the doctor again, and it's going to be a compilation. It's a full deal because I tell you what, my experience going to the doctor frequently. One of the last times I went, he had, I guess, lost a ring or a finger or something in there, knuckle. He went in all. He burst a few O-rings.
He is so dramatic.
yeah.
Overly dramatic, if you haven't figured that
It
out.
was so uncomfortable. And plus the fact that I found out, because I talked to him, I was like, well, how often am I supposed to be doing this? He was like, once a year, maybe two. And he had the look on his face
He's like,
in the
man,
petri dish.
but I
He's
love it when you come
disgust.
in, Sean. And by
Yeah,
the way,
you-
I lost my ring. Can I go in there and look for it?
A big class ring.
It's a college
college class ring.
championship ring.
Yeah.
Awful.
And you're like, God,
Anywho.
something feels funny, Doc. Oh, that's my ring.
So I don't know. I was trying to figure out, well, am I even supposed to be drinking tonight? I mean, I could probably have a couple.
Mm.
You know, just like you said, just long enough. It's not after midnight, right?
Yeah, 11:59. You have to power drink until 11:59.
Yeah, then you're
Yeah.
done.
All
Right.
right. Well,
And then we'll carry you home.
is that Eastern time or?
That's Pacific
Is that
time, so
Western?
it's actually two our time.
Great. No, this is a horrible idea. His number is going to be way off.
Wow.
You know,
Anyways,
earlier you talked about the THC joke. Did you hear about the wedding, the bride,
Oh my God.
the bride and the caterer?
Tara, my wife, had mentioned
Yes.
something about
So
this.
all the 40 people go to a wedding. They all get sick, and they come to
No.
find out that the bride and the caterer conspired to, I think, to make the wedding fun. Maybe the reception fun. They put pot in the food.
They
What?
laced the food.
They
was-
laced
they
the
had-
food.
They had infused they used infused olive oil prepping
Yeah.
the food.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
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 Cannabis.
So they both got arrested,
Yeah, you
and
can't do that.
they're showing their mugshots, and of course the bride's all smiley,
That is-
right? Which is weird anyway.
Was she in her like veil and everything?
No. But isn't that funny when people do mugshots? Like, I don't know if they're thinking in the moment. They're like, okay,
She's probably still
we're
high.
taking your picture, and they're like, oh,
It's
like
a
you know, like
camera,
pe-
right?
well,
You know,
people
you
who do
smile.
like horrible crimes, they're like smiling on the camera, and they're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. You know
So
what I mean?
it's a Florida bride and her wedding caterer had been criminally charged after serving food laced with marijuana to their wedding guests, sickening them and sending them to the hospital. It's Danya Shea Svoboda.
So
Svoboda.
Something like that.
why did it make them sick? I
Yeah.
mean, why didn't it just make
No,
them high?
well, let me finish reading this because based on what Tara said, some people went into some panic attacks because they didn't know. If you don't know what's happening to your body, and all of a sudden
Oh, so
you've
they
got
should have announced it. Oh, by the way, everybody, you just ate pot
Well,
cake.
But
Yeah.
not just that, but you know, look, first, pot's illegal. All right, so I support that. However, I think there are a lot of ways in which pot can be therapeutic if taken in the correct dosages.
Medicinal.
Well,
Yes.
You know, just don't get stupid high. If you do a little puff or something like that, it could be very therapeutic.
And everybody's got a different tolerance too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're giving the same amount to everybody. And
Oh,
you're a 300
little
pound
kids.
man
Yeah, there
to
was
little
just
kids.
Oh,
Oh
the-
my God.
Yeah,
little
think
kids.
about
so
that.
the
crazy,
the
right?
caterer
That's
who
not
was
cool.
Oh, they're in
42
big trouble.
and Jocelyn Montrenici Bryant, 31, who catered her wedding, faced charges of violating Florida's anti-tampering laws, delivery of
Yeah,
marijuana,
they're screwed.
and culpable negligence.
So is marijuana legal in Florida?
No.
I doubt.
So if you were one of those people and you're like, yeah, I just got a new job and I'm getting tested tomorrow morning.
Well, you're fired.
No.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
Come on.
I think you get a pass,
Oh,
man.
you get a
Fail.
free pass.
Well, how many excuses do you hear? Yeah, I was at a
Do
wedding,
you?
they laced the
Yeah.
food. Yeah, right.
Oh, because it was on TV.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
come
do
on.
have that. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, like
There's a-
10,000 people use that as
one
an
guest-
excuse.
Right.
I was at that wedding.
I was at that wedding. No, you weren't.
One
Yes,
of
I
the-
was.
The
I
guest
crashed it.
ate a Caesar salad, tortellini, and bread with olive oil and herb dip. Said it felt tingly. His heart started to race and was having crazy thoughts. Adding that he had used marijuana years ago, but he was experiencing the same stuff.
Ah.
And some of
So
the
does
guests
it
began
really-
vomiting.
So it really says it was the olive oil that was laced?
Absolutely. The caterer giggled and shook her head, and this is just I get it,
It's
but
a bad idea.
well,
Yeah.
this is something I would do. And before I
Yeah.
realized, maybe I should have processed that a little bit more. But it's still, I mean, when you got like folks that aren't in the spectrum that do that type of stuff,
Crazy.
What about grandma and grandpa?
oh, they're tripping.
Your
Right,
80 or
how
90-year-old grandma and grandpa.
Oh, they're probably out there
Well,
like,
somebody probably had a fun trip.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was some people who
A
had
couple
panic
people had a
attacks.
great time.
Yeah, they're like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, this is the best wedding ever.
Give me some chips. I've got the munchies.
Yeah.
Holy shit, probably ate all that food, man.
Yeah. Right.
So a friend of mine goes to Colorado, and he's from Colorado, right? And
Yeah.
so he,
So
you
he
know,
knows the drill.
smokes and does all that, but his wife never had. So they stop at the dispensary on the
Mhm.
way out of the airport. They buy 2 100 milligram cookies.
Uh-oh.
100 milligrams of THC.
That
is
sounds like a lot to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't know.
Oh, no.
So the next morning, she eats the whole cookie.
Oh,
no.
shit.
Oh.
She's never done marijuana in her life.
And no one, like, instructs her
She's-
just to eat, like,
Well, they
a
didn't.
quarter of it?
Well, I guess they didn't think about it, and but my friend's parents were even there.
Oh,
And they were
no.
eating like part of their cookie, and they just didn't expect her to eat the whole thing. And she went into total freak out. Like he said, they almost had to take her to the hospital
Because she was, like,
wigged shit,
wigging out
Yeah.
and,
Can
like-
I swear?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Did he
I
just
mark it
swear?
explicit whenever I post this, so yeah,
Okay,
you can
good.
cuss up a storm if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you really mark it explicit?
Yeah, shit,
I
fuck,
do.
damn, piss
Every-
off.
every
Just
show.
get it
Oh,
out of
that's
the way.
funny.
Mark it
Yeah.
explicit.
Yeah,
Oh,
she-
that's really funny. Okay.
But
anyway.
that's the thing. You can't just,
Yeah.
you get a dose, right? Like it's like what I might eat in an edible, my wife can't handle half of what I eat, So
See,
Yeah.
I have never tried it, but I've been around 2 different people now that had never tried it before
Yeah.
and had bad trips.
Uh,
Exactly what you're saying. They were
Yeah. Well,
super paranoid. They were saying like people were trying to get them, and so they locked the door of their bedroom. And we're like, okay, just leave her in there. She'll
that's
wear
why
it off.
I'm not a huge fan of the it's not synthetic, but of the edibles. And
Yeah.
it's because there are so many variables that are unforeseen. You know, the quantity. You know, you can do the same quantity the next day, and it can have a different reaction based on what's in your stomach,
Right.
based on the chemistry of what's going on. Did you work out? Are you dehydrated? You know,
But the common
old school stuff is
the common
best.
story I hear of what people make the mistake of, they're so excited to be high, right?
Yeah.
Because they made this decision, they're on a vacation or something, and they pop an edible, and so like, okay, I'm going to be high now, and they wait and they wait.
And then they eat another one.
And then they're like, "Fuck! It's not affecting me at all."
Right.
And they pop a third one, and then kaboom!
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh my god, they're attacking me!" I mean, it's like they go totally
Right.
wig out, right? I hear that story.
is God.
Right.
I'm watching you eat popcorn.
That was a big mistake.
And your inner monologue, I don't know, it's sometimes just profound.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know.
I would.
I've had a bourbon inner monologue, but not a THC inner.
There was a
inner
time in
monologue.
my life where I had partaken. I don't do it anymore, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not necessarily against it either, though. You know, the number one thing for me is it's illegal. You know, but
It won't be much.
I think
longer.
it'll
it won't
be
be
the
long.
next few years. It'll be legal here in
Oh,
Texas.
Texas is already teetering. I know they're.
but
Yeah.
let's put it this way: if it were legal, I still wouldn't do edibles. I feel like I would enjoy just a minute puff,
Like a blunt.
Just smoke a
a
bowl.
puff.
No, you want to smoke a big old blunt? and pass it
No,
around?
no, and
a big
sometimes
nude
a bowl
blunt,
is too
an
much
all-nude
too.
blunt.
I think that's part of the problem with the kids
We can play
nowadays
past
is
the
that
Dutchie.
they overconsume. They smoke themselves into a frenzy.
To
They just
oblivion.
it's just
Well,
it's
and then you got the
too
dab
much.
pen. You got the dab pen, which is
Oh,
vape. That stuff's dangerous.
it's
Yeah, the
dangerous.
You got the
kids
marijuana vapes.
Yeah, the kids
yeah.
go to the hospital because of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Really?
That'll kill them.
Yeah.
No,
You do
the
too
dab pen?
much.
No.
There's even more. I mean, they've got wax out there. Look, it's just a bad idea.
Hold on. What'd you say? Wax.
WAX.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got this THC in the form of a wax, and it's super concentrated, and it
And you
uses
smear it on your chest, kind of like
it's not like vape rub.
Nice.
vape rub.
Rape rub.
Yeah.
No, you said rape.
Did I
He
say what I
meant
said?
vape.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got my cans mixed up. Sorry, I meant to put vape
put the
rub, not rape
He
rub.
put the THC rub on his chest.
I forgot it's Tuesday, not Saturday.
jeez.
God, flag.
So's the wax like? Does it taste
Yeah, I don't really know.
like
I mean,
the old wax lips you used to get?
no. It was
Halloween?
essentially, it's the medium of how it's delivered into your lungs. So it comes in this paste.
Oh, you still smoke it?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
you put it in. It's kind of like smoking crack, and you
Oh.
heat it with a high temperature, and it starts to vaporize, and that's
Like in a spoon?
that's a thing.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
well, I don't.
Get
You know,
tie that thing around your arm.
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need a
Oh, that's
tourniquet.
heroin.
It's going in
Free
your
base wax
lungs.
marijuana.
I had no idea I was podcasting with a bunch of drug addicts.
Well,
I am
This is
not a
very interesting.
well,
So walk us through
For
all
the
the
record.
different techniques of everything you can take, guys.
so go on with the tourniquet. You were talking about that, Brian?
I was just thinking of Pulp
No,
Fiction.
go on.
Yeah, you want to hide the needle marks? Go between the toes.
Oh, professional over here.
Between the butt cheeks.
The
God.
taint is exceptionally good.
Oh, that,
Really?
all right, hold on. Before we dive too much more into the Dudes Like Us thing, we need to chat about our Dudes Like Us pick of the day.
Bourbon. Sean
And
picked.
that's-
Sean picked this one.
I did.
Well
it's an
done.
oldie but goodie.
Well done.
Yep. So I'm a huge fan of Nine Banded, and based in Austin,
are.
Texas, and I'm a huge fan. I drank the weeded black label for a very long time. In fact, when we found a 1 liter that was available
It was
in
down in
College Station,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
you know, we were super excited. I was like, "Oh my god!"
They had the big bottle?
Yes.
They had the half gallon?
It was a liter.
No, it was a
College
It
liter.
was a liter.
Yeah, not the Magnum.
Okay.
No, it's not a
Interesting.
Magnum. It's
But
That
that's
was 1.5,
But that's an
right?
in-between bottle. That's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
was weird.
It is.
But they evidently they have them down there, and they have them. I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Well, the guy when we asked them about it, they said that they are a wholesale store, and you have to go to, it was a specs, and you said these are wholesale size bottles, but that's why they get them.
Right.
So you have to go to a wholesale specs in order to get the liters.
Interesting.
Really?
Normal stores won't have them.
Anyways, so
It's
the white one is it's kind of a regular bourbon.
Correct.
It's not a weeded bourbon.
No.
They got a little bit more rye in there.
So
And it's not weeded at all, actually,
They
I
have
don't
two standard bottles that are like 80 proof, right? like the
Cur-
regular
90,
90 proof.
90.
proof.
Okay. Okay.
And
But
then
that's
they,
not what we're drinking.
No, they came out with a few doozies this past year. I think they came out with the cask strength bourbon,
Which is what we have.
115
Right.
proof. By the way, this stuff.
Yeah.
This is
It'll
good.
definitely put hair
a
on your chest.
plummet.
We're going to be seeing stars here shortly.
Yeah, I'm already.
There's no turbidity.
What is that?
No what?
I don't know. So the appearance, clear, pale straw, no turbidity.
You don't know what
Oh.
turbidity means?
Yet faint
Oh.
rivulets form long streaking tears.
Well, good lord.
Boy, that's odd.
Is turbidity
Yet
like
faint rivulets
is that like
form long.
sheets?
I love
streaking
reading.
tears.
Viscosity? Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so
Turbidity is how cloudy it is. The
It's so
opaqueness,
over the top.
thickness of it,
I'm so sick of the over the top
the
stuff.
viscosity.
we make fun of them sometimes.
Totally. No, every time. I
So
do.
it's cloudiness or how clear it is. So no turbidity means it's clear.
We learned that in chemistry class.
But
Remember
it's also
when
thick.
when we were learning about
how
solutions?
thick it is with suspended matter.
Heavy, dark, or dense as smoke or fog.
Hold on. Remember this in chemistry class? They used to, when they talked about densities, the two liquids would separate,
Correct.
and they wouldn't have turbidity. But when they had the same densities, they would mix. Right? It
Right.
became a solution or whatever they talked.
Homogeneous.
Come on, Brian. Did you not pay attention
No,
in,
Does
in
it
high
become
school?
a homogeneous solution?
It was
I'm in
a
real
base.
estate. I don't know anything about chemistry.
Yeah. Did you just place out of high school?
Well, you
No,
know,
I-
throw
I-
a syringe
Were
his
you a
way in a
protege?
tourniquet. He's
I did not partake in
serve you
high
right
school.
up.
Unless you were marijuana or a girl. I didn't have anything to do with you.
Wow. Well,
You know.
two cool things. So, are you into bourbon?
Yes.
What's your drink
I
of
do love
choice,
bourbon.
Brian?
I try to drink a lot of Texas bourbons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this
that's
should be
your
right up
go-to.
your alley.
That is your
Garrison
go-to
Brothers.
on a Friday night chilling. It's a bourbon.
Yeah, bourbon.
This one is
for
out of
sure.
Austin, so
Okay. So, what are some of your
Pick it up.
Texas go-tos?
I like my favorite's Garrison Brothers.
Ooh, that's a pricey one. That's a
That is
good one.
pricey.
Yeah, they're very
It is.
proud.
Have you been
for
there?
what it is?
Yeah, we've been down there.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I bought a $300 bottle of what was that, Laguna Madre.
Wow.
I was gonna buy
wow.
2, but then I decided I needed to make my house payment.
Well,
Right.
we're trying to.
You know what's stupid about a $300 bottle of bourbon?
It
It's
tastes
still
just
on my
like-
shelf, unopened.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want
God,
to drink it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm doing?
Until when?
Like I
right?
paid all this money to buy this bottle of bourbon, and now I won't open it.
Right.
So-
Until
That's
until
what I
when?
mean.
Like, how do you pick a moment where it's like worthy
Oh,
of
yeah,
drinking?
I don't
So
even
you,
know.
you know my opinion about this, and I've shared it. My opinion is crack it open as soon as you get it, or crack it
Yeah.
open very soon, and take a couple drinks out of it. Bring
Right.
the bottle
or
down.
drink the whole bottle in one night.
Or you
do
could
that.
do that.
Well, we could do that, but because
Yeah.
if we have extra bottles, but if you have one that's
I
$300,
don't.
you drink it till it gets down just below the shoulder,
Yeah.
and then let it sit there and,
Yeah,
and,
give
and
it a couple of
ruminate
weeks.
and I don't know what is it called, off gassing or
I hope it's not called that.
Oxidation.
It's
I don't know.
that seems kind of
something where the oxygen infuses with it and it kind of does something to
Yeah.
the taste. At least that's what the bourbon
That's
guys
the
at
theory.
You know what I
That's
would
the
Total
theory
Total
anyway.
Wine say.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do. If it's
Yeah.
a bottle that's really, really important to me, I would put it in my safe. And then when I die, I'd have my kids
That's what Jeff
take
does.
it out of their
Jeff
my
took
safe
his fucking
and put it
bottle
in
of,
their
like,
safe.
10-year
And then
McKenna.
when they die, have them put it in there.
See?
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
just
that's
dumb.
probably what you
That's
should do.
not
with
going
it.
to happen.
I have it in
Look,
the safe.
I got a bottle of Fourgate rye bourbon that my wife bought me for my birthday this past week. $200 that she paid for it. I was $199. I don't know how much it was. It was supposedly a nice bottle. I've done some soul searching, and I'm gonna be opening it up very soon.
You're gonna mix it with
Nice.
Coke.
yeah, yeah. We got some little Coca-Cola. We're gonna what the hell? Get the fuck out of here. No, but you know what? If we could come, Brian, you're welcome. I mean, you're welcome to join us whenever we do this. I don't know what kind of announcement I'm going to make, but you know, we'll have to get you on another podcast. What do you think of the setup here at the Dudes
The
Like Us
setup's
Foundation?
pretty
here?
wicked. I got to tell you.
It's fun, isn't it? And we
It's,
got a lava lamp right here in the middle to be
Lamp,
mesmerized
you got
by.
the professional style microphone.
We got a TV whenever the
soundboard.
Yeah, whenever the
Engineer.
producer
Hey, that
actually like is
soundboard-
not sleeping or on his phone, he puts cool stuff on the TV.
Right?
It's awesome.
We have an authentic
wild.
Nazi
He's the
helmet
cool-
sitting next to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We-
Yeah, we got a little World War II
Oh,
stuff
wow.
going on here, and a little Star Wars on the other side.
That is
real?
100% authentic.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right,
so
all right,
we
moving on.
capitalized with the podcast with really the soundboard back there is a digital soundboard.
Yeah.
Shout out to the X32 Behringer folks out there that know
Nice.
sound.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Nice. But you know, one comment about the Nazi helmet. So I've got I'm fourth generation German. I have no idea. I know I have family over there. I know I have tons of German family over there. I guarantee. What are the odds that I don't have some sort of
is that why you like to have
third
bratwurst in your
cousin,
mouth?
fourth cousin, blah blah blah, that
Right.
literally fought for the freaking Hitler
Well, I'm
army?
sure. I'm
I
sure.
guarantee.
Well,
it.
have you spit in a cup and figured out where your heritage has been
I'm not
flowing
gonna do it.
from?
I'm not going to do it because it'll somehow lead to one of my family members being arrested for some horrible crime.
You know, I did it, and I did it because my mom made me do it. And
Really?
I'm
Boy, if
now
I
you're
were
on their
nickel,
radar.
I'm almost 50 years old, and my mom makes me do stuff.
Why would she do that?
She says she gets me this kit for Christmas. She's like, I'm dying to find out your heritage. Just do it. And I was like, I don't
Why
really
don't
want
you
to
do
it.
it? Because I have the same heritage
She
as
did
you.
it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
but she wanted
Just say
to
it's the same as
see.
hers.
And so what did I do? I did it. And then I sent it off, and about a day later, I was like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Why did I
Now
just
you-
send
now
my
you're in the
DNA
DNA.
to some private company?
Right.
And then
don't-
But I made that joke. But you know what it's causing? It's causing them to solve cold cases.
Well, okay,
Have you
so
heard
I
about
read
this?
into it. It's not all the companies. Ancestry.com,
yeah.
they will not release DNA without a search warrant.
Okay.
But what about 23andMe, which is whom
They are an open book to the police.
well, I don't have anything
Or
to
any
worry
law.
about.
I think it's a good thing that they're solving open cases.
Okay, I do too, but no, I don't think that's the way to do it. Well,
Well,
of course, if you free and willingly give some private company your DNA, that's kind of on you.
Well, I'm
Well,
sure
no,
it's,
but
I'm sure it's
no,
in the
no, no,
agreement
but
that
it's
you
not
sign
just
as
you.
well.
It's
But
it
how
could
it's
be your
happening-
cousin.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the son or grandson of the dude that killed 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could track your great uncle. It'd be like,
It's
oh,
so
your great
ridiculous.
uncle. We found,
It-
you know,
And when you
I don't
hear,
Familial
like it.
and when you hear
matches.
the stories, so every periodically on these cold cases, they check the database of
Yep.
new people that are signing up every day, and they're like, "We have a hit." And they're like, okay, it's on the mother's side. And they are able to figure
Well,
out
you know
it's
what?
on the mom's side or the dad's side, and they start to like,
hats off to
segregate
them.
who it's an aunt, it's an uncle, it's a
But
grandfather.
Look,
it's
if,
amazing.
If you've done something wrong where your DNA is somewhere, then you fucking deserve to be arrested.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like these.
That's
these
government
Well, what if
old
they're
stuff.
but what
German
if they're, Yeah,
dudes
exactly. What if they're 78 years old? They've been
Well, that's
living in
what these-
Wisconsin.
That's what these
what do you
German.
do to these guys? Do you put them in prison?
Yeah,
well,
that's
well,
stupid.
think about the.
Yeah, they do.
What is it called? The
Whitey Bulger,
the
Right.
German when they were killing the Germans. It was the
Nazis.
no the fuck. I got a brain fart. I can't think
Oh,
of
the old guy?
No, I'm talking about what was that era called? The Holocaust. Thank you.
The Holocaust.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you
they
for
were
sharing
killing
that with me.
Jews, not Germans. But yeah.
Well, they were killing the Jews. So what about all those Nazis that are in their 70s that they were like, oh yeah, well,
those guys they show no mercy to. It doesn't
Well,
matter how old they are.
but-
They can be 101 hiding in Brazil, and they want
but
their
that's my
asses beheaded.
point. It's the same
It's the
thing.
same
You're
thing.
posing the question, regardless of the severity of the crime. It's still a crime. You either
I agree.
so
Yeah, I don't care if you did it when you were 30 and now you're 100. You're
Wow.
still going to pay for it.
Yeah, I
agree.
guess when you're talking about something that severe.
Yeah,
I think
like
what's
murder.
what's going to
or
be
whatever.
a problem is when they start using DNA for every parking ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Well-
obviously, far exaggerated. But
Yeah, no,
Well,
but you know
no.
what I'm
maybe
saying?
not.
Like,
I
this
mean-
is not. I
In,
don't
Or they-
in
or they-
200 years from now, yeah, they're going to be
Right.
like,
Yeah.
They're gonna, or they start going and they test. They go, he's not vaccinated.
Oh my God.
that's not funny.
Well, yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
that
I mean,
Well,
then
I
they're
mean,
going to
They're
start.
going to
testing
start
it.
nickel and diming you across the board, and it's just like you're going to walk into a
Checkbox.
grocery store. It's kind of like now you can go. Now they have certain stores that are available where you can walk up there. You pick a 6-pack of beer up, Jack. You just put it in your cart. You got a little Snickers bar. Put in your cart. You pick up several other items, and you just walk right out the door. And the cameras and the big eye in the sky, they tally all that shit up. They put it on your tab, and they bill you.
No.
It's amazing.
It's an Amazon store.
Yes,
Yeah.
I went to one in Chicago, and it was creepy, totally creepy. I grabbed whatever I wanted, that kind of thing, and walked out the door. And I was like, okay.
Did you have to put your card in first?
No. You don't do anything. And
Yeah,
it's just they
it's
know
on
who
cards on
you are.
file.
How do they know who you are?
They did a
Facial
DNA
recognition.
test when he walked through the door.
Well, they did a
The-
rectal test.
It was an anal swab.
Oh,
Yeah, it was an
swab.
well, they do. Well, and it's not. You guys make it sound uncomfortable when you first walk in.
It was like, oh, there's a class ring in there.
No, you drop your pants and you bend over, and this probe shoots out from the little kiosk.
yeah.
It's
a
really
quick-
fast.
It's quick.
It
though.
is fast.
It's
It
quick.
is fast. And I tell you what, you almost don't even notice.
Yeah.
You know.
It's about the size of the spherical little Death Star we put in
It's
our
like a
drinks.
like a.
It's
Yeah.
like a quick
beer
plunge
can.
in
Well, you
now.
actually get to choose what size it is.
Oh.
Paul's like, I want a beer can. So how do they
Why
know
does
who
this
you
guy
are?
keep getting scanned?
I don't know. And why would
So how do they know who you are? If you don't log in, if
I
you
bet
don't
it's
give your
your
card or
phone.
anything, how do they know who you are?
They probably
Well,
blew
I-
You
I
had to
your
have done
phone.
something.
Yeah, I had to have done something. I think I did show my junk when I walked in.
No, if you well,
They have to identify you somehow.
Your
I
phone.
don't know. Honestly, I can't.
he walked in.
I bet you
he's-
put your card in the cart, boom, everything you put in there gets charged.
there's a
No.
there's a big like a photocopy machine.
Or you
can-
logged in. Here's my Amazon
Smash your junk
ID.
on there and
Nope. I
it
didn't.
scans.
You had to do something.
Did they clean it first?
Man, I wish I could remember.
I
Never
bet it's your
beating the shit
phone.
out of this, but the end game on this is that ultimately they're going to start nickel and dime you. It's not just going shopping; they're going to nickel and dime you on every aspect of your life. You wake up late for work and you're 5 minutes late. Ding! You're driving down
Actually,
the road.
not in California because they want to go to a 32-hour work week.
Ooh,
Well,
that's what I'm talking about.
I
But
mean,
if
I'm
you're
gonna
driving-
join in on that.
If you're
I'll get a
driving
job.
down
Still
the
get paid
road
the same.
and your phone
need a
is
hangover day.
registering that you're doing 2 miles over the speed limit, ding!
That's
You know,
bad.
Well,
that's what's happening.
insurance companies do that now. You plug it into your car and they monitor you.
yeah. If
Yeah,
you're,
but you're also talking
yeah.
about your social score.
I'm just
China's
saying,
starting to do that.
across the board. If you go to a bar and you purchase an alcoholic beverage
Ooh, that's a
and you
negative.
hop in your car,
You-
bing! You drive drunk, bing!
Well, I mean,
I think that's several years away.
Well,
I-
I'm just
yeah.
saying
Because
it's-
that's a
it's
huge-
on the
that's-
cusp.
No, I think that's a freedom. I don't know if that'll happen here in the U.S. There's going to have to be some radical government change to allow that. You get a lot of fights if you say you're going to ding me because I purchased a beer. I purchased it for somebody else.
well, but,
No.
but you know what I'm talking about with the social score, right? It's
Yes,
like
over in China.
yeah, it's over in China. So like if you it's kind of like Facebook, right? You get
Yeah.
thumbs up, thumbs down. You get likes and
I'd
dislikes.
be at the bottom.
Let's say you go to the hotel and you cop attitude with the clerk or whatever, and the clerk goes up. Okay, negative.
No
right?
way.
So it affects your social score.
Really?
And so everybody's like motivated, right? That's what China's thinking. Everybody's going to be motivated to be better, nicer people. Would that be true?
So you could try to go to a hotel, and they look at your score and go, "Yeah, we don't want him staying."
That's
here.
exactly what happens.
Yeah, this guy likes to
That's bad.
put his junk on the photocopy
Yeah, I don't
machine.
think that will happen here in the U.S.
But that, but
No,
but
I don't either.
but
Swim naked in the
do you
pool.
guys do you guys think that it would be motivating to be a good person?
No,
No.
I would be motivated to be a horrible person.
You
at
should
that
be a
point.
good
Well, then
person
you wouldn't be.
out of
You'd be
you.
kicked out of Walmart.
But not
Right.
just that, but
I
you'll
wouldn't
be
care.
penalized.
What happens then?
I
You
don't-
can't buy
tax
shit from Walmart,
How
Brian.
the
What
hell
happens
do you
I
get
then?
kicked
have
out of
Amazon.
Walmart?
Yeah.
Well,
I go
did
to,
you
I go to my
hear?
app and I order everything I want anyway.
Well, they
so-
just
Yeah,
turned you
there
down
you
on your
go.
app too.
They can't
You
turn
got to
me
be
down on
nice
my
to
app.
people. That's what I'm
That-
saying. The way this social score works, you're screwed.
Would it create like
would
a
cut you
a
off.
sliding scale of cost? Like if your social score is less than 50%,
Oh, they make you pay
then
more.
you have to pay more.
I
maybe.
Damn.
Well,
they
did you
might.
hear?
Oh, wow.
But then we could scam that. We could all just hang out and give each other good scores.
I think
every day.
in Maryland,
I'll just
There
have
you
you
go.
buy my
Right?
shit.
I like that idea, Brian.
in Maryland, they're
And make,
trying to
make
pass
a million
law.
fake profiles.
Yeah.
They're trying to pass a
Right.
law in Maryland that if you're not vaccinated, you will be taxed double.
Oh, that's right.
That's
What a crock of poop.
oh my
Isn't
god.
that bullshit?
Too.
That is
Yeah.
beyond bullshit.
And they said on top of that, you will have a monthly fee.
Yeah, and
Wow.
Really?
Tax double, and you'll have a monthly fee. They're trying to pass
Even
that
though
in
they
Maryland.
have proven
In-
at this point the vaccine does not help.
Correct.
in fact, it goes a little bit further than that. There's something about your kids. If you're not vaccinated, they can do
Correct.
something to your kids.
Yes.
They can
Really?
take them away from you.
Yeah, you want people shot at the door? That's a good way to do that.
I don't feel like that would go over well in
No,
court.
come
No.
on, man.
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
they're just taking it too far. Look, if you want to have
Well, they're trying to sneak
the-
it through, I think, because some lady found it in the minutes of the government meetings or something like that. So she's bringing it to people's attention. I
Really?
think they're trying to sneak it through.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
trying to slide it into critical race theory.
It's funny how the ACLU was such a hated organization,
Yeah.
and now they're taking on cases more and more against these crazy mandates and more.
Are you
know,
sure? Because
Yeah.
in my opinion, they've been nowhere.
They've been doing a lot of stuff.
Okay,
and
well,
I've
that's good to
noticed
hear.
that they're it's hard for them because they're turning away their own audience, right? Their own
Yeah,
fans.
but that's their
people that
mission
have-
is to
But
defend the
that's what,
civil rights.
exactly, and that's the thing. And I've seen them having to defend their stance on Twitter.
Well, that's fantastic.
They're saying, "Hey, this is about freedom. We're the civil liberties unit."
Yeah.
So
Well, they should be, but
Hopefully-
sometimes I don't think they've consistently been that way.
hopefully they do it more.
Well, they're also
Agreed.
They're also they're also abandoning one of their biggest groups that they've supported is women because they're starting to support the trans women over the women now.
Transgender, yeah.
So they've kind of
yeah.
dropped the women because they were a big supporter of equal rights for women
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And now it's okay. This man over here has more rights than you and should be able to, swim and whatever the sport
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a screwed up thing.
And I find it bizarre that we haven't been hearing feminists, like not necessarily like ACLU, but feminists, like screaming bloody murder.
Right.
I mean, they've always been I don't want to say anti-man, but they've been like protecting the interests of women.
Well, like Title IX and all
Right.
that.
Yes. And how are they staying quiet when a man becomes a woman and then dominates their
I
sport?
think they're so
Yeah.
torn
What do they do?
on what to support
Are they
because
screwed because of the wokeism?
I think that is. I think they're so woke. Not all of them, obviously, but I think they're torn. They're like, I need to support the women, but I support the gay community, trans community as well. So which one wins?
Right.
Well, they're going to go for the biggest donor because they need
Mhm.
money
And
to
it's
run the
trans?
organization. No, ACLU.
You would think it's
right,
feminist.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what's going
Well,
to yield the biggest
I
return?
think
Well, they-
that's
well, they
the
call
biggest
them-
donor
Yeah, you're right.
always going to win.
Where the money always where the
political
money goes,
parties
right? Where the
or
money
anything.
is.
Well, the feminists who speak out, they call them TERFs
Ugh,
because they call them
TERF?
TERFs.
that sounds gross.
That's kind of a gross sounding.
Yeah, it
look
is,
up
kinda
look up
is.
exactly what TERF stands for, but
Can you imagine having to pull off the panties and you find a pelt
Okay.
Yeah.
AstroTurf
I
down
knew
there?
that was
it's
coming.
TERF, I
Good
believe.
Lord. Oh, TERF. Oh, that's different.
That's different.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Yeah, good call.
trans exclusionary radical feminist.
It's
So
an acronym for trans.
Trans?
Man.
And the-
Hold on. Say that again. I can't.
is an acronym for trans exclusionary radical feminist. So basically, it's the feminists who are sticking up for the women instead of the trans people. So they've even come out for a term for those type
Right.
of feminists.
So they've had to
But-
separate even within the
Correct.
feminist community.
Well, this came out in 2008.
okay,
so
well,
this
that's
is nothing
encouraging.
new.
Though. I find that
like
encouraging.
J.K. Rowling.
That is so bizarre.
She was getting so much pressure to because there is a subset of her fans who said, well, this character seems trans to me. Is trans, or they're pressuring her to write a trans person in her book, and she's like, no, there's two genders, male and female,
Oh,
and they jumped her shit.
She
bad.
has. It's still
Oh, yeah.
ongoing.
So they call her a TERF.
Like they are not
Turf.
giving up on totally nuking her.
Is she
And-
gay?
But how be proud of her. She is sticking to her guns on this.
Well,
She is not
right.
going to cave.
yeah,
I love it.
I heard that her making Dumbledore gay was kind of an appeasement
Oh, great.
to that.
That
group.
was a hat tip to
Whether
the.
that's true or not, I don't know. That's one of the theories. So
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't give a shit.
I don't
He
either.
can suck as much dick as he wants.
Wow.
It's just that we
You say that every single time.
we don't need to know about it.
Yeah.
I don't need to know. My kids don't need to know.
Yeah.
We don't care. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Well, you know what? My wife and I make the same comment about the Netflix shows we watch. They always have to have a.
Oh.
They always have to have
It's
a
a
homosexual
beatdown.
relationship, and we don't have an issue with it. But they always make it physical. There's always PDA.
Yeah,
They
it's
have to
just-
kiss. They have to do, and they're not even doing that to the normal couples. Like
Yes.
no, when I say normal, I'm sure that's offensive. But the heterosexual couples
because
aren't-
you're not normal.
no, are definitely not normal. Well, I'm hearing impaired. What do you? Is that what you mean?
No, no.
You
just
son of a.
I'm,
He's
okay. I'm
handicapped.
talking about your infinity pillow.
Oh,
Ooh, what is this,
What-
Paul?
Oh,
Do
why don't you
tell.
explain
infinity
it?
pillow.
Did you find out where you put the batteries yet?
In my infinity pillow?
I forget what it was called. I made up that word. But you know, your pillow, your yoga pillow.
My chair? My stretching chair?
Your sit and spin, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
My bad back, bad knees, bad ankles chair?
Oh,
What is wrong with you?
Wow, I guess it's all about perception,
You
right?
sick son of a bitch.
So, did you find out where to put those big D-sized batteries?
Actually, it takes one of those car batteries.
Big 12 volt.
It's a big diesel engine.
Whatever.
That's awesome.
That's like Naked Gun. Remember when he starts that? They're in
The
that
dildo?
porn shop. He's in that porn shop and he's like starts the little motor. That was hilarious.
So awesome.
Oh, we got to go back and watch that again. That was such good stuff.
I'm
Hopefully it
gonna
holds
pass.
up. Have you watched Airplane recently
Yes.
No. Oh.
What did they?
Did it hold up
Yes.
today?
Well,
I
it
don't
did.
see
I
it for
love
years.
it.
It's
yeah,
so offensive. It's so amazingly offensive.
Yeah,
And
well,
so
That's
is
so
what's
great.
the other one? The most offensive one ever.
Airplane 2?
No.
Yeah,
the
that was
one,
offensive.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Ooh,
Thank
good
you.
Lord.
It was so
Love Mel
incredibly offensive.
That-
It was funny as hell.
That was funny, but there's no way.
No way.
It's like running an Archie Bunker series on TV.
Right.
It just the shit ain't gonna fly nowadays.
Absolutely would
Well,
never happen today.
And Django just came out, right? Just a few years back.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, that has the N word. I think it's the most ever said in a movie.
I wonder
Really?
if everyone was just
So,
like,
I mean,
trigger,
it's not
trigger,
a
trigger, trigger.
comedy, you know, and it was, but I think you could still do it in the right context.
Well,
Well, you
But
know,
you could do a sitcom on ABC
No.
like Archie Bunker today.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, the
they have
ones,
Blackish.
the one that
You could do on HBO.
Is that the opposite?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is
I love that show.
probably the raunchiest I've seen, and they could still maintain their raunchiness.
Well, Family
God,
Guy
that's awesome.
gets there as well.
Family Guy.
Well,
Family
South
Guy.
Park. I mean,
That's
shit.
South Park, true. Yeah.
Holy shit, South Park gets away with all sorts of shit, right? Which is good.
Yeah,
It's
there's-
comedy.
I started showing my kids South Park, and after the first episode, I was like, "We're not watching it anymore."
well, hold on. Your kids are
Especially,
4 and 7, right?
He's 11.
and then he tells you, "Hey, Dad, you know they came out with a South Park video game?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video game?"
No.
Okay, I know one
being for real.
little part of the video game is where you're fighting something around balls and a dick. Austin, pull that up.
come
Nice.
on. That's just
That's
so over the
awesome.
top.
Like he even knows
So it's making
what it's
fun of-
called.
Oh, it's
Stick
called
of
the
Truth?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why they do it, because they just push, right?
Yeah.
They know
course.
they can.
Show,
and
show
then-
the video.
Oh my god.
So I mean, this is basically it's a video of kids trying to sneak through their parents' room, and then all of a sudden their dad they get shrunk down to miniature size.
Oh, that's the video game? Like
Yeah, it's the video
that's
game.
the goal of the game.
And so they're shrunk down to miniature size, and they have to get from point A to point B. And to get to point B, you have to travel through your parents' bedroom and through the bed. And his parents are having sex.
Do you have safe search on?
That's brilliant.
Oh, look, there's doggy style going on right there.
Oh, come on.
That's
Come
awesome.
on.
Come on, man. We got no. You're on pictures. You need video.
Oh, that's
Chico.
Oh, there's the
Oh,
balls
that's
right there.
oh, come on. That's so bad.
There you go. No, it's
Who-
called the Stick of Truth.
Who came up with this?
You
This
need-
is South Park.
No.
South
I mean,
Park.
who told you about it? How'd you hear about this?
Oh, my kids watch the shit out of
That was
it.
Sean's 8-year-old.
My kids play the game.
Sean's 3-year-old. Daddy, can we watch Stick of Truth?
Now, let's see if you can find a little. Look at the boss fight. See,
Oh, my
okay, well,
God.
we're having a little downtime here trying to find the correct
a
one.
lot of colorful pictures, though.
Yeah,
I think South Park is funny, but I've watched it, but it's not something that I've been religiously watched. But every single one that I've watched, I'm just like, this is great. I need to start watching this, but I never do. I never pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to watch it.
It's not something for me.
Oh,
Okay,
my
like
God.
all right. So right now, see if you can put on some audio here.
Oh, God. Okay. Really?
So there's like a set of balls
Oh,
that is
you have
coming to
to-
his face. And-
so bad.
Oh my god, I just did a slow motion backflip away from my dad's balls.
all right, so
Okay,
Or
that
banana
was not the game,
balls.
though.
no,
That was just a video.
I
a
think
Twitch.
it is the game.
No, that's the boss fight. You have to dodge your dad's balls.
All right, well,
Oh,
you guys got to
that's
look it
sad.
up.
Wow.
I'm serious. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
you
Shelly
know-
and I started watching.
I want to get this game.
Well, Shelly and I started watching the South Park movie.
The Stick of Truth.
and
That's
she
what it's
and she
called.
was
I'm gonna go.
protesting the whole time, but I was just like, no, come on, it's funny. Let's stick it out. It was so ridiculously over the top from the
Oh, yeah.
from the first second to when we stopped. It was everything they could cram in there as much as possible to be as offensive and over the top as possible.
Oh,
That
and
is-
Need this.
It was
Austin, this is
unbelievable.
actually the video they're playing right there. So they're miniaturized.
Oh my God.
Underpants. No! You had to go and start asking questions!
Oh,
Well, now you
gross.
shall see the true power of an underpants now!
What's flopping around in
Her
the background?
boobs.
Those
come
are
on.
boobs and
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, clearly a
It's
nipple
time
right
for some
there.
real underpants magic!
Okay, I can't.
All right, so there's the miniature South Park guys are
He's got a
on
helmet
the
on.
bed, and
This is awesome. I'm getting this video game. Okay, first of all, the underpants gnomes are the greatest South
Shrink
Park part
underwear.
ever.
It says. Oh no.
yeah,
Yeah,
little-
they're literally fighting underneath their parents that are having
Yeah.
sex.
yeah, and you see and then once you get past the box, they're on the boobies part now. Then when they get past the navel, and then you got the balls that are flapping and coming at you.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's what
that's
they
great.
had showed.
That's
You know,
terrible.
I can't think of a better way to spend my free time
Right.
than
Oh,
to
you
play
just-
a game like that.
It's even got the porn music.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
is
it's
awesome.
excellent,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, don't worry about fixing the sprinklers or cleaning the pool
Look
or
at
mowing
those
the
things
yard.
swaying.
Play
Yeah,
this game,
there's those
Yeah.
boobies are just
right? I mean, I know we have responsibilities as husbands and fathers, but screw it. Play this game.
But it's a real game, and my
Oh
kids
my
played
God.
it. Austin, have you played it?
Of course.
Yeah, he's nodding his head.
You sick bastard. What's wrong with you, Mr. Producer? Oh, you didn't know it was a game? Oh, are you playing it right now?
Now
Oh,
there's
okay. All right, let's move on.
you get
We
spam
got it.
oh, you got smacked.
That
in
looks
the
like
face
a
with-
really old ball sack, doesn't
I don't
it?
know. I mean, even young ball sacks look like that.
Do they?
Not that I would know, but oh yeah, I've got
Ah.
boys. I got boys. It's good. I'm safe.
So you look at their ball sacks?
No, I hadn't in the past. I mean,
Hmm.
when they came out of Terror, they were
Very-
like hung like a freaking horse, and I was
Oh,
like, oh, they're
God.
just swollen. They're just
Way,
swollen.
way to turn that around. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous.
Okay, it's
So
totally. over
anyway,
the top.
South Park craziness, and I never really got into South Park, but I have watched all the shows, and I think they're freaking funny. And
Yes.
I love the one where they have the Carmen, where he's got the space satellite dish that shoots at his ass.
Oh, Cartman. Yeah.
There's
he's
a
got
Cartman,
that's the
and-
first episode.
Where there was like the pro. Was that really the first
Yeah,
episode?
That was the first. I just watched it the other night.
Yeah,
And Cartman has
literally
the-
the debut.
yeah.
So it's like, well,
before
go
they-
go talk through this.
That's
Give
where-
us the narrative of it.
Cartman gets abducted by aliens, and they put a 50-foot satellite dish in his ass, and so
Oh my god!
he-
Because
he's
every single
standing
time
there,
you get
and
abducted, you
here
get
comes
probed.
this satellite dish, and it's sticking out of his. It's just ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
funny
over
as
the
shit,
top.
though. I mean, it's and then and at the end of the episode, my favorite part of the whole thing is. He's telling him, yeah, I had this dream. I was on this alien spaceship, and Scott Baio gave me pink eye. just random.
Yeah, random
random
shot
what
at Scott Baio,
You know
right?
what I'm saying? It was awesome, though.
And Scott Baio's watching it, going, "Huh?"
And they're like, your eye does look red, and that's it. The episode's over. You're
Brian,
like,
did you ever play World of Warcraft?
Hmm?
You ever play World of Warcraft?
No.
Well, World of Warcraft. If you got it for some of our fans out there,
No,
they
no
did a
fans out
South
there.
Park show on World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, I saw that episode.
and absolutely funny, absolutely true,
Yeah.
absolutely
it?
true. And the
What? It's a South Park episode about World of Warcraft.
yes,
Yeah. There's a great
War.
Yeah.
War of World. What is it? World or War?
World of Warcraft.
World of
World of
Warcraft.
Warcraft.
Of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It's like it's probably
See,
one of
there's
the
Sean
highest.
right there. There's Sean right there.
It's probably one of the
That's
highest
That's Sean
played
playing
games on the
World of
planet.
Warcraft.
Yeah.
Well,
Typical
fat.
52-year-old
I,
right there.
I played that game in my early 40s, and I'm not exaggerating. I played it probably 2-3 years straight, and I think I only missed a couple days.
Oh wow.
Wow. Did you have a job during that period of your life?
I was doing construction. Wake up at the crack of ass, work my ass off all day long, come home, put the kids to bed, pull out a 6-pack of beer, drink, and I would play with people, military soldiers. I'd play with military soldiers on the other side of the planet, and we'd
Wow.
play World of Warcraft.
And
it was
you
fantastic.
Would, and you would plan your attacks together because you were in a guild.
Oh yeah, of course we were in a guild, and we would do the.
Were you
the-
a mage?
oh
He
man,
was
that's
a
where
mage.
Leroy Jenkins came from. You know.
Oh, you were Leroy Jenkins?
No. Leroy Jenkins, what a jackwagon. We watched that. Too bad we didn't have audio on that one.
The
but
first time we recorded it, we were laughed our asses off, and we had
Oh, it was
no
funny.
recording. We had no audio of it at all.
we
wow,
could
really?
hear it in our headset, but it wasn't. That we had a
She was
It
not
didn't
on the
record?
podcast.
miscalculation over there, so we couldn't hear the guys. We just.
But that's been posted long ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
We got a what is that? I just infused us with this power. It's 1.3 of repeating, of course. It just. These
it
little
was the
geeks.
cheesiest.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
I've been. We're just buffed, and I'm wearing my shoes, and
and I'm going to put on my ring of invisibility.
we got all our buffs. Are you guys ready to go? And then all of a sudden, this guy is saying, "Hey, where's he going? He just freaking ran in there. Leroy."
But he's screaming Leroy the whole
Jenkins,
time.
and he pulls the whole. So when you run into it's like going into a boss, except these are 40-man teams that are playing. So this is
And
is
they're all gathered
coordinated.
around. It's so corny.
They're all
They're all
nerds.
gathered around
It's like a
talking
pre-battle
outside
meeting
of the
is what
room.
it is.
They're-
Yeah, they're
they're-
pre-battle planning. That's
But
exactly
this is
what they're
this is synchronized stuff. So when you go in there and you're battling, it's kind of like, all right, well, the dragons are coming out. We need we need what they call extended. What is it? It's damage. We need long range damage.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you would get the hunters out there and shooting guns, rifles, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah, you're trying to soften them up before
Yeah, well,
you send people out there.
There are different sets. So you got one guy that's controlling it. He's kind of like dictating to all the people. You got healers. You got people that are throwing spells on you. So you have to dispel them. You're getting cursed, and you got to. There's a million things going on, and then you have a tank, the big guy in the middle, and he's just like pulling all this aggro, and all these things are coming at him. When I played the video game, I was what they call
An idiot.
Cleric.
I was what the hell was I? I was a disciplined priest. My job, an idiot. Yeah, my job was to protect. I was Bubble Boy, basically. I would protect the tank. So I enjoyed the shit out of it.
So
Very
I'll cut the story short. When
passionate.
Leroy runs in there, it goes worse than Custard's Last Stand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah,
all
well,
get
they
slaughtered.
Well, it's called a
They
wipe.
get slaughtered faster than poor.
It's called
poor
a
old
wipe.
Custard did.
They all die. They
Yeah.
get
And it
respawned
was funny as
somewhere,
hell,
and then
though.
they meet back again. But you got to understand, to coordinate that with 40 people around the world.
Yeah.
And to hear them try to recover. Oh, he went in. Okay, well, we'll just ad lib it. Like okay, everybody do their best, and
It
they
just
get
fails.
Oh, they get completely
it just
demolished.
fails.
Yeah, it's
And-
really
and-
really funny.
But
All right.
the thing that sucks about it, that when you do fail, you do damage to your armor. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's like you have to
It's like
fix your
permanent
armor.
damage.
No,
Yeah.
you have to fix it in the
Right,
game.
right.
So it's just like you have sometimes when you wipe like that, some guy acts like a jackass. You literally have to take 10
Go to a
minutes
blacksmith.
to go somewhere in the game
Yes.
to fix yourself, and then to come back and
Right.
visit.
and that's just enough time for 2 more beers.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I also went through a phase
He's like,
where
fuck, I gotta get my armor fixed.
no, I went through a phase where when I was playing this video game where I started dropping beer off my program. When I started working at a Taco Road job where they had lots of wine, I started buying the 5-liter boxes of wine, and I would buy a pint of glass.
I remember when you went through that
That's a good
phase of
idea.
boxed
Oh,
wine.
Drink a box
God.
of wine.
You did. You
It's
went through
so
a
easy.
boxed wine.
Dude, I would
phase.
sit there and I'd be like,
Franzia.
hey,
Did you buy Franzia?
dude, man, what?
He
Yeah,
did.
red.
That's exactly what it was. As a matter of fact, I bought it for him one time. Hey man, can you buy me a box of wine?
You want to hear something horrible?
Hey, wait.
And you're not gonna fart, are you?
So I went on a trip to Honduras for
You don't hear that.
I'm not
every
going to
day.
mention who, and it was kind of a not a mission trip, but we were going down there to work to help poor people, right? And we were taking all these clothes down, and so we got these boxes of wine because alcohol down there sucks, right? And we decided to put the wine in the donation bags
Oh, to
just
hide
in
it.
case they blew up on the airplane,
Oh no.
and that way they wouldn't ruin our clothes.
It would ruin the donation
But did
clothes.
it? But did it? Did it explode?
We only lost one box of wine.
Did they all?
Oh, so it did explode on one of the. Oh, that's it is horrible.
Yes.
Well, they're like, "Wow, what is this? Is this Tide?"
That wasn't me. That
Is
was
this the Tide
that was
system?
somebody
And the
I
people,
know.
the people smelling it like this smells
I'm serious.
wonderful.
Well, yeah. What is that? You probably should have.
Just bounce.
Did you get red? Was it red wine or did
It
you
was
like
red
stick
wine.
to white
yeah.
wine?
Cabernet.
God, I mean,
Mommy, why is Bounce making me high?
They were used donations anyway. I mean, it wasn't that
Yeah,
So it
bad.
was like a tie dye. So everything was kind of tie dyed with Cabernet.
It only
that's
were
not
like
bad.
2 shirts, maybe. That's it.
5 liters though.
So there you go. So now when I travel, I only travel with a backpack. So I couldn't
Yeah.
get in my stuff anyway.
Well, you get the little clip-on bladder of wine.
Yeah. And you double bag it and do all this stuff.
Oh man, look, we're professionals. We like
Yeah.
we smuggle in bladders of bourbon into concerts all the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
When you say we, is that loosely
I believe that was in
used?
your
Is that-
I think we have all
arm brace.
Yeah, I was a
participated.
fucking mule when we went to that concert. So I had a shoulder injury, and I had
were
one of
a
those
mule.
fancy. I had a fancy arm thing, and they
Oh,
were like,
yeah.
"Okay, we're gonna put the flask underneath
Yes.
that arm."
No, yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, they'll never check that. I mean, seriously, what are
a
they gonna do?
mule.
I need you to take your arm out of the sling, please. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I mean, really?
Really?
They're gonna make you do that? No, they didn't.
Oh my
So
god.
it was foolproof.
Oh, that's
But I was a
awesome.
mule.
Yeah.
And
That
what does he
sounds-
decide to bring into the concert?
Oh fuck you.
Peach.
That was
whiskey.
bourbon.
Jeff.
No, it was
What?
not me.
Pete- Yeah, no, no,
Bullshit.
Peter,
I
it's
asked
not
you
me.
before we picked it.
Stop talking.
and you
Brian
said-
needs to hear this. Peach whiskey.
Like Crown Royal Peach.
I
It
don't
was
know.
Jim Beam.
No, it was
Peach.
Jim Beam Honey and what was the other
No,
one?
it was Peach.
That
Peach.
It was
It was
an
peach.
amazing concert, but that ruined it.
I do love Jim Beam. Not Jim Beam Peach.
Yeah,
It was very
Who drinks
sticky.
peach? Oh,
Well, we did that night.
you know,
a
Well,
little bit.
you
I think
un-
I turned down the last one.
you ungrateful son of a bitch.
Well, I'm the one that muled it. Asshole.
I came up with a plan,
It was a good
asshole.
one.
Did you-
It was a
did-
good one.
Did you
got-
swallow up?
And you got turned away.
I did. I had
You
a,
brought your backpack. Like
I had
an
a
idiot.
satchel, and they were like, "You can't come up with that satchel," and I was like, "Why?" And they
Well, she
were,
has a purse.
that's what I was saying. I can't come up with my satchel with 2 guns. Why? Why?
He's like, I identify as a woman.
That's awesome.
That may float today.
Why? Because I have tits.
We all do.
Their moves.
Moobs.
Well, yeah, I had to go back out to the car, and I was
yeah.
struggling because I had to figure out how to get the cups in there. So I ended up shoving them in my pants, my pocket.
You could just buy a drink.
I don't recall.
There's a lot of room in
no,
there. To
we
put your
didn't want
cups.
to.
You could
Yeah,
buy,
you
you
would
could
think
buy
that.
a Coke
Chodish.
and drink
You know,
it.
in retrospect, look, this is the learning curve. So I mean, in
He had a
retrospect,
chode pouch. Do you know what a
Yeah.
chode is,
it was very
Brian?
squatty.
Nice.
It's
Do you know
very
what a chode-
girthy
a
but
chode?
short.
I feel like I do, but
It's very
Okay.
girthy but short.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
minutely long
Kind of like our cups.
and but very round. So that leaves a lot of space in there
Lot of
for cups
space.
and stuff.
That had to hurt.
Oh, the dog just
She just shook her head and
She
her
just gave
ears
herself-
Her
just.
ears just flapped against the
yeah,
Yeah,
she
I was
just gave
like,
herself a
"Ugh."
concussion. Does anybody need a beer? I have a cooler full of beer. here.
I think Brian is.
I'll have one.
I love a
So,
beer, and I
That's
think
why
he-
I'm asking.
Speaking of
also out of-
concerts, do you? Okay, so every time I go to a concert, I get offered marijuana. Like I swear to
Do you
God, I
really?
went to Ozzy Osbourne. I was in the 5th row.
Like people that don't know you,
yeah, people turned around. They're like, "Hey, we're smoking out for his birthday.
they like
You want some?"
they look at you and they go,
Yeah.
You look like you need to be high."
I was at, I think it was Rob Zombie.
It could be the type of
And
concert you're going to.
These
Yeah.
guys are smoking this huge blunt, and they just turn around. He's like, "You want some?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I don't want to, because you got to put your lips on it.
Yeah, it's true.
Gross, and-
Let me snip the end off first, and then I'll
yeah,
have some.
could
Yeah.
you disinfect that? And
Oh
then-
no, dude, you're taking. Oh yeah, right.
But
You're
I'm a
taking a
baby.
drag off of this dude's.
I'm like,
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, it happened all the time. But like, I'm pushing 50.
I think
And
what
it
they
still
should do
happens.
is they should have
Iron
some sort of
Maiden.
like a wagon where people bring. You know, when you have a hookah and you've got multiple people pulling
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
hookah.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
everyone should bring their own little
And you-
tether.
Little,
get your own little tip.
tube.
Yeah, bring your own little tether,
Yeah.
and when you get up there, just like tap in and.
Mhm. Yep.
And you know what? That's a great idea. That could be personalized, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's got
yeah.
their own little
So instead of
individual
LED lights on there.
There you
when
go.
weed gets
That's actually a great idea.
when weed
Thank
gets legalized here, we should open up a
a dude's like us
weed
talk
hookah
shop for weed.
lounge.
a weed hookah lounge
Yeah.
with your own
Hookah.
private
Oh, dude.
hookup.
Yes.
Hookah. I'll tell you what, the Indians. I think it's Indians.
It
Maybe, has that whole thing.
Well, it's
cornered.
Mid East.
They
it's the
love
whole
it.
Mid East thing.
They freaking love it.
It's a big thing.
Well, just
I won't say a bomb.
not just
but
the
It is.
device, but it
It's
is a bomb
essentially a group
Yeah,
bomb.
It's a
and you
water
have-
bomb.
Exactly what it is.
And you have tubes coming off
where
of
they
it and you
have
smoke.
different flavored tobaccos put in there, and sometimes
And it gives them a buzz, and they all giggle and have a great time.
Well,
and
Brandon
there's music.
Brandon
there's
has done
music
it,
going
and
on.
he says it is extremely strong.
yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, you buzz.
What is it? Is it?
It's tobacco.
It's
Just
tobacco. Have you ever been to a
tobacco.
hookah bar or
yeah,
hookah
I've
lounge?
been, but I didn't want to put the thing in my mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you gotta
that's-
get
Okay,
your own
people
little
were
weed.
sharing
That
it.
kind of diminishes
Well, you're
the
supposed to have your own, I
experience.
think, right? I don't know. I've never been.
I don't
I
like
don't know.
sharing lip things.
Yeah,
with
when you
people,
can't
you
do
know
that
what I'm
part
like
of it,
showing
it
up
makes
at
going
a-
in there kind of pointless.
It's like interviewing bachelorette people when you're you're like, well, the stripper was in there, but I didn't want to put that thing in my mouth. You know.
Is that a good
Is
analogy?
that a thing?
I don't know. I,
I
just
don't
kinda-
think that's a good analogy. That's a,
I tried to spin
that's a
it.
terrifying analogy.
There was something there. I just missed.
There was nothing there.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. to me
Yeah,
either.
that scared everybody.
you guys. All right, so I did mention earlier, I started spouting off about 220 and Trump and social media and how he was trying to push something because we were talking about Elon Musk and
Yeah, taken. So that's a big development. They were battling big
That's
time.
a lot of money.
yeah,
Well, and the
I mean,
board was saying no, and
Well,
and
I think they
and
got the
called
lot-
them on it, and they said, "Who are you looking out for? The shareholders, or who
Yeah,
are you
Well,
looking
I
out
think
for?"
there
your
were going to
woke-"
be a bunch of lawsuits.
And then they
Well,
were
what
like,
happened?
"Fuck, we have
Jeff,
no choice."
I still don't understand what you were saying about what they're trying to do to.
Poison pill.
You were saying something that they did it in Europe, and they're trying to do it with it. He already purchased it. It's a done deal.
No, because what it is, and again, I was trying to look earlier. Obama just spoke out in Stanford, and I don't know the correct terminology, but basically, I don't know what country just passed. I don't know if it was Europe or England or Great Britain or somewhere over there. I believe just passed some legislation that Hillary Clinton just commented on it, like we did it or something like that, and basically. What's happened is all these social media accounts have been controlled by like minds for so long, and now one of them is not. So they feel threatened by that. So they're like, "Uh-oh," and it's a big one. Twitter's a big one.
Oh, huge.
So they don't have the monopoly anymore. So they have, I don't know how many there are. Let's say there's 3 of them. Now they have 2.
There's a break in the dam.
There's a break, and they're getting nervous that stuff's going to start getting out there, and I think they're going to try to go around it and try to.
Like truth. Truth is going to
Correct.
get out there. I mean, think
Correct.
about it. If you imagine it like a wall, like a defensive wall, right? You got NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. I mean, all the mainstream media. You got all the big tech. I mean, everybody. It's a giant wall that protects the narrative
Correct.
and the talking points.
And they
So-
won't be able to do that because
And-
they're going to be forced to cover both sides
Yes.
now.
As a matter of fact,
Well, there's
conservatives are jumping back on.
So what Trump
I did.
Mark Levin jumped back on.
I reactivated mine today.
There you go.
So what the what Trump was referring to, I mentioned it was 220. That's actually called 230, and it's
Well,
a
230.
No, that's
231.
Section 230. He didn't do that. He
well,
wanted to
it's
revoke
not.
it.
It's a reference
He wanted to revoke it.
that's what he said.
Well,
Revoke
hold on.
230.
What is it?
It's
What is
a
230?
reference to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, a law passed by Congress in 1996. It says online platforms are not legally responsible for what users post.
Right.
So what many say, this protection enabled the creation of the modern internet, but critics on both left and right says it gives tech companies too much power at a time when there are essential to many people's lives. So he was saying revoke that ability.
To
Yeah,
what?
but how do you punish? That sounds so much like they want to make gun manufacturers liable for what their users do with guns, and I don't like that either.
I don't like that,
or
no.
ammunition makers.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, it's a
I don't think
horrible idea.
holding
But
when you
Brian,
post
you
something on
understand the only
Twitter-
reason why they're doing that is because that's their only. They don't
Well,
think it's
yeah.
right either, but
Yeah.
that's their only way to make it happen.
It's their only way
No.
to control the narrative.
Well, in terms of gun control,
And what's
they
interesting
can't
now,
stop the guns, so they're going to stop the ammo.
and what's
Right.
interesting now is the Democrats were wholly against repealing 230 for years. Now, in Obama's speech, he says maybe we do need to go back and look at 230
What a loser.
now that they don't have 100% control of it.
Right.
Right, and that's what they're getting at. And again, I don't know what the law is. I'm gonna have to do some more research. I heard it today on the radio that something just passed, and Obama was speaking to it. Hillary Clinton commented on Twitter about it, and it's something about that the government would start to, instead of the social media companies controlling the content, it would be controlled at a federal government level.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So yeah, it's a horrible idea. So
yeah, let's do big central government.
You know, we need
China.
to dig into this a little bit more. But in Obama's reign, he implemented something that allows media companies to say false things, and they don't have to be held accountable for it. In other words, to create the narrative, what's the dog doing? Little allergies?
She is
It
licking.
is.
She's licking her back paw, and she's very upset. She's
Those
crying.
So-
those are allergies. When dogs lick their paws a lot, it's because they have allergies.
So Trump seized
Allergies.
on the once obscure legal provision after wrangling with Twitter that this says this week. This is an older one, but the social media platform put fact-checking labels on some of the tweets that claimed without evidence the mail-in ballots were fraudulent. That is really the bottom line of why they deleted Trump on all social platforms that he was on, is because he was saying, hey, look, I think that this vote was fraud.
yeah,
And
the election was fraudulent. Yeah.
Had he just framed the statement where
Oh, come on, no way.
had he just framed it and said, hey, you know what? I believe that this was fraudulent.
No, they were looking for any reason to kick him off.
Well, it's
And
kind of
did you
like
hear
Joe
that he is
Rogan's
not coming back?
podcast.
He's
You know,
not coming back.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's not coming back. You know why? Because he wants to put out this truth
Yeah, because he has
social
his
platform.
Because he has his own competing
And
platform.
I'm on board with that
I
because
don't-
I've got stock in it.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to float now.
Why
It
not?
may come
I
out.
wonder.
I don't think it's going to be successful now.
I
Because
do.
Twitter's
I
too
don't think
big.
Hey, what is the stock price?
No, here,
40
you know
bucks.
what? No, it's
So
30.
it was
It's even
35
worse.
2 days ago.
It was
No, it's-
40 bucks today.
Well,
Damn.
it
I
I
went up a
tried to
little bit.
buy, but the market had already closed.
All right, so here's what Trump is. Here's what was. So Dan Nunes was on MSNBC, and he was chatting about. No, it was not. It was Fox News, and he was chatting about. He was talking about the Trump platform, and he was saying how Trump or the Truth Social what's it called? Is it
Truth Social.
Truth Social, they want to envelop all the positive attributes from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all in one. They do not want to take over Twitter. They don't want to take over.
No.
They want to create an environment that's conducive to our needs.
Right.
That are
Which
flat.
is
That are
an open,
flatlined.
uncensored, you can voice your opinions environment.
Yeah.
Platform. And that can't be turned off.
How do you feel about that?
I love the idea of a free speech social media platform.
Right.
But I also love the idea that you have to stand behind what you say with your actual identity. Because what I see in local
Oh,
politics, on Facebook
right.
especially, there's so many fake accounts.
Right.
And there's so many people, they don't have a picture, they don't have a background. They oh
And
my
they're
God,
just
that's
trolling.
the account was created in 2008, but
So
no
that
post
was
until this year.
Danny Nunes' biggest thing that he was saying, and that's the reason why. First of all, it's not available on Android; it's only available on iPhone. So they
not
were
for
saying,
me.
well, right, currently that's the way it's set up right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what they say is you're on a waiting list. Well, that waiting list is long because they're making sure that you're not a bot.
Yeah, you need to
know.
be a verified identity.
Is that what they're doing? Is that why it's taking so long?
That's what Danny Nunes said this morning. May I have another beer, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I hope Truth takes off. I'm in line. I am number 407,000 and something.
I'm 200 and something thousand.
Oh, look
yeah.
at you.
Yeah,
So
I'll tell you what,
I'm
when
all
I
on
get
board with
on-
it, but I'm afraid that it's not going to be as big because of what just happened with Musk.
Mm.
Oh.
I disagree.
That's why I don't
Meaning
think it's
now
gonna-
there really is a competitor. For,
Correct.
for
Twitter-
I
social.
think
I
Facebook
think
is-
Twitter and this Truth are really going to compete now because Twitter's big.
I think
It's gonna
Facebook
be hard
has
to compete against
stepped
it.
off into the meta field, and they're going to morph into something different. I think that Facebook is going to turn into not necessarily a MySpace syndrome where they're going to just wilt and die, but they're going in a different direction. And I think what Trump is doing, or I shouldn't say Trump, I think what this platform is doing is they're trying to envelop all the positive attributes and to have people accountable for what they
Right.
say.
No, I
Yeah.
get it. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
thing.
all
That's
for
what
it.
I think.
Yeah, I'm all for truth succeeding, but I don't know. I was very hopeful, but when this Elon Musk thing happened, I started guessing: is this how is this going to hurt the launch of truth?
You know what? I would say this: do not underestimate the popularity of Donald Trump.
I know.
Don't underestimate it. It's massive. It's huge, and it's more than just him. It's what he represents.
But
He represents what people are so sick of, right? The two-party politics, the bullshit, the people getting away with like never being accountable for this or that, and the lies, and
Yeah,
it's
Hillary-
obvious. So
Right.
he represents a getting back to what it was supposed to be, what it is supposed to be.
correct. And I hope it succeeds. I
So,
don't
I
know. I think it's going to have a harder road now. Put it that way.
Yeah, no, I
I
agree.
think it's going to have a harder road now than it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but what's the harm for of people that are on Twitter to also create an account on Truth Social?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
Well, it's not,
I mean,
but
they're
but
not.
it's-
They're not. You know what I mean? They're not
But
mutually
basically,
exclusive.
it's to see Trump. That would be the only reason, because Trump has come out and says, "I'm not going to rejoin Twitter."
Well, I don't know. There are a lot of Twitter folk out there that are pretty savvy with their accounts that they have set up that are disgusted with
Yeah,
the
agreed.
with
Especially
the,
conservatives.
You know, they talk about the misinformation that's going out there. You know, there's a lot of misinformation that's being processed through Twitter. You know, and they're kind of like, well, you know what? It's like hydrochloroquine. You know, there was a time where that wasn't an effective tool to cure COVID. And then what was the stuff that gets horse
The horse
dewormer?
ivermectin.
Ivermectin. There you
right.
go. The ivermectin wasn't very effective. Oh, it turns out ivermectin is extremely effective
I
against
know,
the
it's
COVID.
such bullshit.
So it's just like, all of a sudden, it's just like, well, if you say that, you
Isn't that kind of like what Joe Rogan was talking about in his apology? I'm doing air quotes. He didn't
Yeah.
apologize
His
for
apology.
it. I
Yeah.
love Joe Rogan's podcast. I watch and listen all the time.
I like his.
And I love just he has no agenda.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a conversation with
Oh,
somebody.
he's
Yeah.
he,
He
he's
has
in the
no
middle.
agenda.
He just
He has
asking
no
honest
notes.
questions.
Just asking the question.
Yeah, he just asks questions.
That's why
and he
when,
just goes
he's
down
got
truck.
those doctors on there, and they're saying whatever they're saying, and Joe's kind
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah,
huh.
that's kind of what he was
Go
saying.
on.
He's saying, look, we just talk about stuff, and what's not right today may be right in a year.
Oh,
you
That-
know,
sure.
That's what I
Oh,
really.
the narrative
changing
changes.
information.
The narrative
thing.
changes
It's,
all
it's
the time.
everything, and that's exactly what he said. It's
That's
just
exactly
like, you
what
know
he
what, 6 months ago I wasn't able to say this, but now I can.
Right.
And then just the whole jargon
Right.
of Spotify, people standing up and wanting to delete
Well,
him.
did you see that Spotify dropped Obama?
Yes,
Oh,
Did
I
they?
did not.
they
Yes.
did not renew. I texted you
really?
guys that.
Producer, Spotify drops Obama.
Yeah, that's right. You
Well,
did said that.
They did not
Oh, look
renew.
at you,
They
fucking
didn't
wanting-
drop
They
them.
don't
They
have a
didn't drop
renew.
them. They
No,
just
that's-
said we're not going to renew your
That's
contract.
the soft drop,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
right?
And you know why?
That's
Because-
dropping them.
Because nobody was listening to them.
They have.
It doesn't take
Somebody.
much to figure out.
We're on
looking at,
Spotify.
They were a bunch of freaking libs.
Right. Anyway, I figured out what it was. It's the Digital Services Act. The European Union just passed it. The law called the Digital Services Act is intended to address social media societal harms by requiring companies to more aggressively police their platforms for illicit content or risk billions of dollars in fines.
Great. And what they determine,
Correct.
It's gonna be like cigarettes.
right?
Or they
Whatever
blame
they
cigarettes for
determine to
everything.
be illicit content,
They don't
Right.
blame people for smoking cigarettes. They just
Like
blame
any-
the cigarette company for making cigarettes.
right?
Right.
Or like the election.
Like, hey, look.
Anybody who questions the election, that is illicit content. Well,
Yeah,
bullshit.
Well, it's a
It-
matter of who
It
defines
is.
illicit content.
There is
When
plenty
you,
to,
when you
to
got
question.
when you got video of these folks called mules, not you, Paul, smuggling in liquor, but these mules that are
He's a
carrying
liquor
these
mule.
I was
uh,
your mule.
the voting.
A-hole.
What do they call the election voting documents? You
Did
know,
you swallow
they
condom?
show up
ballot?
with like the ballots. Thank you.
Ballot.
Fucking-
I had a ballot
No,
today.
And they popped.
I absorbed it anally.
So they, they show up with like 200 ballots, and they're all dropping them in there. I mean, there are so many that are
So,
showing up.
yeah, so you've heard about the movie coming out, 2,000 Mules.
and it's
No,
getting
no, you know what I'm
blocked.
talking about?
That's a Dinesh
There's a
D'Souza.
joke in there too, but go
Yeah,
on.
this is supposed to be a shocking.
Is this hosted by Dinesh?
It's
Is
a
that what
movie.
Yes.
He made the movie.
It's coming out.
2,000 Mules.
You know what I don't like about movies or documentaries, right?
Right.
Is they're also like
Jaded.
skewed,
Jaded. Yeah.
right? Because like you watch the
Right.
food ones on Netflix, and they make you think that eating meat is bad,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I watch them always. I'm always like, you can always tell when they're steering towards an
Oh
outcome.
yeah. Oh yeah. They have an
Yeah.
agenda.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah,
so
but
so I want to
Dinesh-
watch this. I want to watch
agenda
this
stuff.
2,000 Mules.
But this
because
guy's
apparently
he's
this
not
is
like
big
Michael
time.
Moore.
No.
Well,
he
Michael
isn't.
Moore was in your face about it. By the way, I know he's extraordinarily liberal,
Yeah.
but he had some pretty funny content back in the day.
Back in the day.
Not
he is
so
a
much
funny
now.
guy, but he's a dick.
Like, what was it, Bowling for Columbine? When he took all those kids to the Target headquarters and wanted to return the bullets that were still in them. I mean, come on.
Really?
That was hilarious, man.
Yeah, the bullets
I
right
thought-
here. Can you take it back,
Yeah,
please?
they're like, we want to return all the bullets that are still in all these kids. And,
what is
I mean,
this?
but he was
2000
so
mil.
over the top. But I
Yes.
loved that. But then he lost
Yeah, he
it.
went woke wacko.
9/11 wasn't good. The one about George W. Bush, I didn't like that one.
yeah, he's had a
crazy.
few recently that have been just
Well, but you
blatant.
know, you get popular for one thing, and then you really start to work your audience, and
Oh,
you go
yeah.
too far.
That was
It's what
his
happens with
soapbox,
everybody.
right? That was his soapbox for what he was really thinking about stuff.
But at least he was in your face about it. Like some of these documentaries try to put on where. No, I'm not saying the one you're talking
I
about.
hear you.
Sam,
No,
obviously
no,
I
no.
haven't seen it, but
I hear
you
you.
know, it just made me think of that.
Well, he had what movies do you have? Like Sicko, Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah, Sicko was alright.
Where he got his fame was he did one about Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, I think, or maybe
Oh, the
Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
Flint,
Yeah.
That's the
Michigan.
lead.
Oh my God, that's
The
when
lead
he.
poisoning.
That's where he got started, I think.
Who was the Rockin' New Year's Eve guy that had the stroke?
Dick Clark.
Dick
Dick
Clark.
Clark.
Oh my God, when he was accosting Dick Clark with the mic and talking about Dick Clark's restaurant was busing people. They were doing the welfare program where people were having to ride a bus 2 hours to get to his restaurant to work for like pennies.
Oh,
I mean, it was
no.
terrible. And he went straight at Dick. That's
Totally
one
went
thing.
after him.
Like I genuinely felt bad. Who was the leader of the NRA for so many years? The old Western hero.
Yes, Charlton Heston.
Charlton
when
Heston,
Michael
right.
Moore went to his house and started interviewing Charlton, had you ever see that one?
I haven't seen that.
No.
Oh my God, it made you feel so bad for Charlton. He
Because
literally
he was being such a dick.
had a fake smile on his face,
And he
just
was like,
walked out. Well, but he did an NRA rally in a town that just had a shooting where kids were killed. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
whatever. But yeah.
like, yeah, well, you know, and so then he's like, hey, why did you do this? Well, you know, and he's trying to be all upbeat, and he finally just fake smile walked out. And I'm
So why didn't
it
he?
was in his house, too.
Yeah. Well, why didn't he shoot him? He should
Wow.
have shot Michael Moore right then.
Well, he could have,
He's
but it
in
would have
his
been on
house.
He's in
camera.
my house. Castle Doctrine.
Yeah.
That would have made the news.
I didn't invite them
He
in.
just
I know
smiled,
it's camera.
smiling,
No, he
smiling,
didn't invite him
smiling,
in.
and then he pulls out a 44 Magnum and goes, "You're in my house." Blam,
No, it
blam.
was like a sit-down
He
interview.
was in Michigan. I think Sharia law is not passed there.
Oh,
No,
stop it.
Sharia law did not pass, I don't think.
It has
Okay.
not, but you
They're
can
trying.
imagine.
Talk
It's
about Irving.
I have a
Irving,
friend of
Texas.
mine that's
That's
completely
Dearborn-
convinced
that's
that,
Dearborn,
that Michigan is Sharia law.
you know what?
And I was
It's
like,
not. It's not.
It's not at all.
However, they have many communities in
Oh, yeah.
in like Dearborn, Michigan,
Yeah.
that they practice it all the time, and local authorities don't do shit about it.
Well, see, that's a problem. And that's what's going on in France and the Netherlands, where they're letting these ghettos happen, these Muslim ghettos, where
Yeah.
they're doing their own law.
No
You've
go
got-
And
zone.
now they can't get them back under control.
You've got the people
They're
in
called
Sweden.
no-go zones.
That's kind
yeah,
of a
there
problem.
you go. Like it's up in Sweden, where they
Sweden.
got
Yeah.
these refugees that are coming up, and Sweden's got a government set up where you know what,
Right.
you don't have to do shit. They pay for everything,
No.
and now they've got these the no-go zones.
No-go
Mhm.
They're-
zones.
It's
Nope.
disgusting.
We don't need
And
that.
you know what?
How'd you
mistake.
get on that? How'd you get on Sharia law? What were you reading over
I
here?
think he
when
heard
we were having
Flint,
a
Michigan.
conversation?
You heard the word
You
Michigan.
heard with Michigan, you're like
Yeah.
Sharia law.
I have a friend that does the exact same thing. If you bring up Ford,
Triggered.
did you know they have
Trigger
Shreelaw
Son
in
of a
Michigan?
bitch.
Yeah. God, I remember when I was in Michigan. Shreelaw.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I like Michigan. It's very beautiful up there, actually.
Gorgeous state.
Yeah.
Detroit is
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah. They
But
have a
that
lot of
Gretchen-
pot farms.
That Gretchen Whitmer, though, needs to be
Unbelievable.
yanked out.
So but you remember?
Yeah. She needs to be kidnapped again.
Remember
That's a
that
complete
plot?
farce.
I don't know about
Hold
all
on.
that.
Do you remember the plot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
they unraveled the whole thing. None of those guys got charged, as far as I remember. As far as I
Huh?
know.
What they were like? Was it one of these things
Well,
like
she
she
made
was
it
going to
up,
get
right?
married, like the guys do for the
No.
no.
The FBI set it up. Like the FBI were the ones that went to them
There's no way.
and said, we need to do this. We need to kidnap. You know what I mean?
Oh, she's looking for
You-
faith.
usually
folks.
there's a group of people that like want to do something,
I feel
and
like
then
that
they
would be-
reach out, and then the FBI ends up being the undercover guy. This was a situation where there was like a local militia where the FBI reached out to them and said, "We want to do this."
Double entrapment.
Yeah, it was a trap,
No.
and they're all
So these FBI
But-
guys went in there and started going, "Man, we should kidnap her. We should kidnap her." They all went, "Yeah,
yeah. They were like, "We're in, bro."
right,
Absolutely, and I think it all fell apart. The case fell apart.
right."
Yeah.
Those guys are. If
Not
you
enough
might want
pizza.
to look it up. I don't know, but I think those guys are off the hook because of what the FBI did.
The FBI is got some corrupt shit going
Oh,
on.
they
right
are
now.
totally in the bad shape right now. You
Yeah.
can't
But-
trust.
but
I don't
they're
trust
also
them.
trying
I don't
to-
trust them at all.
They were trying to create a narrative too that makes anybody that hates left wing
Yes.
folk bad.
That's
So
right,
that's
white wing crazy.
that's a
right?
narrative behind this whole program.
So
I
your
hear
son
you.
wanted to go into the FBI. How would you feel about that now? I don't know if he still was interested or
Well,
not.
he actually never wanted to go into the FBI because his contact, that sounds awful. His mentor, who's been in different agencies, said, "Nah, you don't want to do the FBI." But anyway, but that's not the point. He wanted to do Secret Service. He wanted to do. There were different agencies that
Gotcha.
he could have gotten into, but it wasn't FBI. But anyway, he didn't want to travel. So when the time came, they called. Secret Service called and said, hey, you passed the test where you got into the interview process, which is a feat in itself, right?
Yeah.
And they said, we're ready to set up interviews, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I got a job. I don't want to do that anymore."
Yeah, one of my good friends in high school is in the Secret Service. He's been in it for, I don't know, 30 plus years.
Yeah. Oh, then he's set.
Yeah, he.
They make so much money in retirement.
I think he.
So much money.
I think he was stationed. I don't know exactly what he does. He never really explained to it, but I think he was stationed at the vice president's house. He wasn't A-team, running down the street to protect.
Right.
He wasn't one of those guys. But I think he was stationed at the vice president's house. He said, "I did get that out of him, but I know."
Got that out of him.
Yeah, but
Why? Because was he handcuffed in your? in
well,
your
I
game
never
room?
really, I don't talk to him much anymore. And for one thing, he lives in Washington D.C. and I'm down here, and I haven't seen him for years. But he did help us out. We went up to Washington D.C. as a family,
Yeah.
and he helped us out getting into the White House kind of side doorish.
Nice. You got like a little side pass.
Yeah, so a little side doorish action getting into the White House. Flashed the badge, and it was kind of cool. But
So hold on, you've been in the White House?
of course, yes.
Well,
Of course.
Hasn't
everyone?
Excuse me.
I'm Jeff. I mean, what kind of question is that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Have you been in the Oval Office? Did you sign any executive orders?
I was nude on the sofas that you see there.
Wow. Did you leave some bark?
That took a weird turn.
Did you leave some of that Jeff oil on the couch?
You were in the Oval Office scooching on the carpet.
Like a dog.
Yeah.
Up in the air.
Creepy.
Left
Oh, that's
a little
awesome.
sphincter vanilla.
I left a little smear.
No, we did not make it into the Oval Office.
Would you call it a snail trail?
Yeah,
I
Puccini's
don't-
snail trail.
I don't know.
That's
Do they
wonderful.
call it that?
No, that's what Sean calls
That's
it.
what
Oh, okay.
Sean calls
Yeah,
it.
there's no they there. It's just Sean.
Oh, whatever you call it. What?
No, but he's a really good guy, and he always has been. Big Boy Scout. I think he was in the Boy Scouts, and
Probably.
like I said, he's been in there since he graduated college, so 30 plus years, right? So
That's so they have an amazing retirement because all they have to do is go into private, and then
Yeah.
they're making the full money.
Security. Yeah.
Oh, making full money, and then they get the new job, the private, and they're
Mhm.
making double, triple. I mean, it's great.
right. Well, the Secret
Crazy.
Service also manages, but polices counterfeit stuff. So it's got a whole other. There's
Oh,
different
cool.
Really?
levels.
I thought that was FDIC.
No, that's
No?
Social Security, not Social Security, but
Secret Service.
Secret Service is the one who polices counterfeit.
Really?
And
Yes.
that's where Frank Abnegale.
So
Yeah.
when they police the counterfeit, does that include ballots?
No.
Currency.
Great question. Did you see that DeSantis is forming a police unit for the election?
Oh God.
Is this
Did you
gonna be
see that
for,
they
for
took
That
Florida
was today.
only?
DeSantis is forming a police unit that their
So,
goal there
let's-
is to oversee the election.
What?
Because we,
Now, hold on. Before you get into this,
Yeah.
we're coming up close to the end of this first half.
okay.
But there's a lot of DeSantis stuff going on. I
Oh,
mean, we got to talk
ton.
about
Disney.
the Disney World
He's
shutting down
kicking
their
ass.
Well, let's
I
save it-
gotta be
their
honest, he's kicking-
kingdom.
$2
Let's-
billion worth of bonds
Let's
dumped
save it
on
for the
two
sec-
counties.
Yeah, let's save it for the second half. All the DeSantis stuff.
I love what's going on with DeSantis right now. I do. But we'll
Yeah,
that's
well-
great. Well, good. We need to talk
Well,
about
well
it.
Disney
talk
should
about
have
it.
never
Let's
been put in
open
that
with that.
position in the first place.
Let's open with that.
Let's do it.
Well, we could.
All right.
All right, so this is April, and we're past spring break, and
Oh, dude, we're almost into
we're
May.
way
Brother,
past
next
it.
week is
Almost
May.
summer.
Is this summer? Is it officially
Almost.
summer?
No.
One
I'll
month.
tell you what, this past weekend was fantastic weather. Freaking loved
Juneteenth
it.
or something like
Oh, the
that.
whole week.
Gorgeous weather.
The whole
Oh.
week will be
Gorgeous
great.
weather.
I think
All
it's
right,
going to be
April 26th.
114 this
This is
Saturday.
Dudes Like Us. We
I'm
are
going back to
jamming.
college.
We got a guest today. It's Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian,
Brian,
how the hell are you?
I'm good. How
Yeah,
I'm
are
Sean.
how'd you feel about I'm Paul?
I like it. It's good.
And I'm Jeff.
Good.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
Good.
Now you
Having
can stay
fun.
for the second half?
Yeah, we got one more.
I'm fun. I'm in.
Uh,
I ain't got nothing to do. I have the whole evening.
We're
planned.
about to drink more bourbon.
I heard
Right.
you guys
So-
had tortilla soup.
So we're going to do it before and after. What you sound like now and what you sound like at the end of the second podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, you can just listen to one of my podcasts I did a couple of weeks ago where I drink an
no.
entire bottle in 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, he has us beat.
I like where this is going.
Are you going to
Gosh.
say challenge accepted?
Right?
Right?
I didn't
All right,
say it,
we'll
though.
catch you guys on the second half.